Here, and in this video I'm going to share with you some of the experiments resulting initial experiments from these sketches that I did in the sand. So I showed you these earlier in those videos. There's creature 1 sketch. Here's the sketch of creature 2, the kind of snail man thing, sharp spear, and then the third one, a kind of reptile thing, which I hadn't showed you yet, and then maybe coming out of a lotus flower down here. Okay, and then we also have these photos, right? There's that rock in my hand. I didn't use this one because it's not focused, but this one here was clear. I just cut it out. So we got that one, and then there's this other one with these 4 rocks, and then I tried a couple of variations, or at least I think I did, there, where I moved that rock over so that it's all together. Okay, so here's what we got so far. And at the end here, well, most recently, I did some variations of this one. That's using the third sketch, the reptile thing coming out of the flower, of course, right? So, yeah, there's one other part I didn't mention. That's this. That's just part of an image that I took a photo of an iris a while ago. Okay, so here I've done a variation of this one. And I tried taking out both input images and also just taking out the first one, meaning the sketch, and leaving in the flower. So we can see how that looks. Okay, so this one would be with both of them taken out, right? So it's still a variation from this, from number 1 here, from that one. So it's a variation of that. Except that we've removed the input images. So, and so then it gets better, but it still started from this place. And then the other one, I left the flower in. So that was taking out both of them. And I'm not sure why it has this delay as it loads, right? Because if the image is there already and you can see it slightly faded, then it's really already loaded, right? Anyway, this is what happens when we took out the sketch and the flowers. And here's what we did when I left the flower in. So you can see the flower is still having an influence. And I did not play with the image weights yet. So it's just the default image weight, which I think is still 1/4. And we're in Midjourney 5.2. Okay, so let's just scroll back and see some of these things. Okay, yeah, the snail man. Okay, so let's go back to the beginning. Right. Okay, we're not going to look at every single one of them. There we go. Okay, getting back to the beginning. So we got the first one there. That's it. Okay. And the third one there, and then the second one here. And that rock, remember we said we'd use the first one with that color. So this is the result of that. But my description just says a strange creature, right? So I didn't describe it. We can also try describing it, and that's one of the experiments that I did. So in the first creature, the sketch of the first creature, and then there's that pebble. The first one, I've got this description, a strange creature. We haven't tried to describe it. For a later one, I did describe it. So I guess with the second one, see we have here the second sketch. So it says, yeah, a strange creature, and then here I say, a creature best described as a snail man with a shell and walking along on many short legs, holding a spear, holding up his middle finger on his other hand, he looks malicious. And we've also got something similar. Yeah, an extremely sharp and sinister looking spear. Okay. And yeah, I also changed it. Instead of just saying a creature best described as a snail man, we just removed that part so it's a snail man, etc. Okay, so a couple variations. And then for the third one, let's see here. Yeah, okay, so for the third one, we've got a strange creature, and then versus describing it like a kind of reptile with a large mouth, a large sharp teeth, two medium-sized arms, spots, spiky hair all along its back, coming out of a lotus flower. So that's, as we said, the third one there. All right. And so we can see what the difference is between those, but you have to actually find them to do that. But we're just going to look from the beginning quickly here and see what happens. So with the first one as a strange creature, that one I haven't described specifically. So this is just what we've got here. Okay, and I'm saying do this in the style of Mobius and Darrell K. Sweet and Lisa Frank. Here I added in a different style, copied from a guide. This style over here. Okay, and then 3 out of 4 had like a watermark, so I said no watermark. I did that again without the watermarks. So that's here, no watermark. Okay, and that did actually work, so that was good. But you also notice the style changed when you compare it to before I said no watermark. Yeah, it kind of changed. Okay, and that does happen. All right, so these are from the first one, as I said. Same thing. The first sketch plus the colored pebble with a couple colors. These are some results we get with that, with the same prompt each time, of course, different ones, unless we input a specific seed number. Okay, and then I took a look at this one, right, number 3. Here's the other rocks where I said I'll use these 4 with the second creature. Yeah, so I obviously made variations of this and remastered it too. I think I was in Midjourney 5 at the beginning, but then now I'm in 5.2. Okay, so let's skip over that. So what's this? This may be a different thing actually. This could be the second one. Well, that's the first creature, right? Yeah, it is. All right. So this is still with the first creature and using this other image here. Well, the same image. All right. Yeah, still with the same 3 artists, but see now it's in version 5.2. This is when I hit remaster. So you can see how the style changed. Updated algorithm there. Okay. Other variations. This was variations of the same one, but I didn't hit remaster. So it was still in like version 5, I believe. All right, so what happened here? Well, this would have been when I removed the input images. See, because here's what we had, and I did variations of it, and then it resulted in I'm in remix mode, right? /settings, and you change the setting. So I was in remix mode. So then we can change the prompt whenever we hit remix, like whenever we do variations. So that's what happened here, right? I took out the links to the images and it just left the rest of the prompt the same. And there's where it starts to get a lot more interesting. And I liked these, so I upscaled 2, 3, and 4 there. And this is a variation of one that we were looking at. And it's cool that now it has like subtle variations and larger variations. And also you can pan around and expand it. Okay, so there, see, we've tried doing like strong variations and also subtle variations from this one. And subtle variations from that one. And also subtle variations from this one here. It's pretty sweet. What's this? I'm not sure. That's why we have this note, because you can see which ones they are. Well, number 2 has this, right? See, in the first one, I don't have a thing saying what it shortens to. But this is the shortened link for the sketch of Creature 2. So here I just said make a strange creature, right? By Mobius, Darrell K. Sweet, and Lisa Frank. So yeah, let's see. Let's remind ourselves what the second one is. Right, it's the snail man. Okay, so I also tried describing him, but then it completely changed when I did that. And you can see how each one of these creatures is very different. But that's also because the description is so vague. All right. Okay, that was just an upscale of one we were looking at. I liked this one. It looked surprised to see us or the camera. Yeah, so it was, yeah, it's in version 5, right? How will it look in version 5.2? We will see. So when we do that, see, we can't edit the prompt. It doesn't change it. But we could have changed the prompt before this, right? You'll see because I'm in remix mode. If I do variations, I can change the prompt as I do this, or just click, just just do it like that. So if we take out this, like I would assume that this link is an image. Obviously, it's an image link, but I think it's a sketch, not a not the colored pebble thing. It's probably a sketch. We have to follow it to see for sure because we don't have a note of that. I'll take it out anyway for now, just so we don't keep wasting time. Yeah, so that's the pebble. Okay, that's the shortened link for that. So the other one must be something else. Well, it doesn't matter. All right, because we'll just move forward. Right, so the variations, it tells you there, right? Variations subtle. So you can see that they don't have a whole lot of change between them. They're similar to the parent that we did variations from. And then you can just pick whichever one you like or any of them and do and upscale them or make variations or remix, change the prompt, steer it in a different direction, change the style, whatever you want to do. Like I guess I'll use the second one and we'll add in, yeah, I don't have the other thing open right now. Okay, so I guess I'll just use the second one and add in Salvador Dali in there too. Or even just say, just make it by Dali only if you want, which will change it even more, right? So what I did was add Dali to the list of artists that we're pulling the style from. Here now I've just replaced it, so it's only Dali. Okay, and of course we will upscale that one too, just for reference to look at it if we want to. All right, so what are these? Well, they're different, right? And that is, well, maybe the strong variations from this one. It doesn't have that thing here to jump ahead again to where we were, which it would, of course, would be useful if it did have it. I think we're back here. Well, we'll go through them quicker. Yeah, so there you can see with, actually it doesn't say that, right? Because these are the subtle variations. And then here it just says remix, so it's not strong variations. It's variations of that one. And I didn't change the prompt. Okay, right? So this is the reason it's so different is also because we haven't described it. So it all depends what you want. Like let's just add Dali into this also here, as well as maybe just have it done by Dali too. And then we can look at what we get. Yeah, we'll be able to look at what we generated because of all these new ones I've put in. If we jump right up to the latest, we can see them. But for now, we'll take a look at a few things that were generated. I added Lewis Wayne, who drew a lot of cats, and you can see the cat in here. So yeah, so if you look back at what were these like a variation of, right? This one, a kind of reptile thing. Yeah, so adding Lewis Wayne, you can see that it became a cat. Actually, we've skipped something now because it was back here. All right, but I'll leave them. I won't generate a whole bunch for now. We'll just take a look at some of the things that I've generated. That was that frog thing. Okay. I'm gonna change the style here. Lisa Frank only. Colorful. Okay. Yeah, so kind of interesting, right? So this is what we got, just using those simple sketches on the beach. Here, what I did is click up, like pan up. So I was on this one right here. One of these ones I liked. You can see the some influence from Mobius there and those flying machines or whatever they are. Yeah, I remember some of these early ones. We got this one, that one, and some other one. Yeah. So anyway, here I did this pan up to see what's above it, like in the night sky. You could go wherever you want. You want to see what's underwater, maybe, or in front of it, right? Just pan down, or what he might be looking at. Pan over to this side here, our left, but his right. Okay, so let's see. Let's see what that is. So yeah, I just panned up, and this is what I got. So here's some other creatures that it's putting up in the sky. And I like this cat over here, the fourth one. But you could get as many as you want, right? You could just click pan up again as many times as you want, and we can just re-roll that any number of times. But because it's in remix mode, we can change the prompt. If it wasn't in remix mode, it would just simply pan up again. But here we're doing the same thing. It's just that we can change the prompt every time if we want to. So if you want to just change the style completely, we can. And why not add DALL-E in here also? Oops, okay, I clicked a different button there, like upscale the fourth one, which we already did, so it doesn't matter. So let's just add Salvador Dali in there, and also just say do the whole thing as well. I'm not talking about the fourth, it's all these. It's not them, it's just simply re-rolling it, so it's just panning up again from the one that we started from. But yeah, let's just try that and see what we get from it. So that's quite a few different little experiments, added new ones that I just added, right? So that's more than enough for us to look at. Okay, this is where it starts another thing with the snail man. This is because I added in the description of the snail man instead of having just a strange creature. That's what happened here. Whatever, right? It's not what I was going for. And every time you put the same thing in, you'll get a different result. But here I've got, see the first part, the first part is the sketch of the snail man thing, which is this. And the second image is like the pebbles in my hand. So one of them will be with all the pebbles, like the way they were, and there's a gap. And then the other one is where I've put them together, just to see if it would make a difference. So that's these two here. You can confirm that if you check right here, except that I haven't put the shortened links there, so we don't know. But if you click on this, you can see. So the four pebbles, let's see if that's that. That's the four pebbles together. So that's this one, and the other one must be, that must be the four pebbles apart, the way that it sat in my hand, four pebbles there. Okay. All right, so here I just did variations of the third one, because it was like, that's closer, but he's not really in the snail shell, and it's not supposed to have two legs. It's supposed to have a whole bunch of legs and actually be in it like a slug or something. And here I also tried number 3. That looks kind of freaky, a kind of Halloween thing, skull. Okay, and yeah, then you could also think about Tim Burton, right, and bring in his style. So like of that one. So we're just doing a variation of that, but change the style. Like just add Tim Burton, or even just make it only by Tim Burton. Like the Nightmare Before Christmas. Okay, if that's what it was called. All right, so there, now I'm showing you that if you do this and you've got the two images in there, one image is the sketch in the sand, the other image is like the colors on the pebble, right? But if we take them out, then this thing will become higher quality because it's just based on that image, the one that we see there, but without those other images to constrain it anymore. And of course, we're not messing with the image weight at this point. We're just leaving it at default. That's what I was doing, and not that it makes any difference here because we're removing the images. I'm just noting that. So I'm going to say Tim Burton, right? And I've removed the images. So we've done it with Tim Burton with the images in still, and then also with them out. So we've tried that. So we'll be able to see that. But you have to wait a minute, or depending how many are in the queue, before we look at that. So we won't look at it immediately. Okay. Here, so 3 and 4 I thought were interesting, and it's almost like Escher, like, well, it's not, but I mean that he may be drawing himself, right? It's like the character's there and he's drawing in the sand and he's part of it. I thought that was interesting. And so I did variations of 3 and 4 and may have changed the prompt, right? This won't tell you that. But when you look back from the future, like the ones that resulted later, then you can see that everything's all trackable. Okay, well, let's jump into the ones that are different. And also this would be, I believe here, this would be the third sketch. So we'll look at that one, right? This reptile creature, the third thing I sketched on the beach. Okay, so that's what that one is. And then that would be the thing that goes after it, which is the flowers. That's why it's purple and a little yellow in there too. Purple and white stripes, and like you can see some yellow in there. Okay, so that's when I went to create characters. Yeah, creature sketch 3. Yeah, see the short links are already here. They're already there. So yeah, when I was doing the third one, you can see I put the image links in my prompt, just a strange creature. But then later I describe it like this reptile, as I explained it already earlier. Okay, so this was at the beginning when it's just a strange creature. So that's what we get, right? A lot of variation because it's very vague. It can be whatever. And whatever's not described will just randomize in the prompt every time you run it. Right? You can just keep re-rolling the same prompt as many times you want, or just do imagine, right? And paste in the same prompt over and over, which is what I was doing at the beginning, right? But of course, you can also just click re-roll. And if you want it to go faster, then turn off remix so it doesn't keep saying, do you want to change the prompt to something else? Okay, so here we have a snail man thing. See, I've removed the image and it's stacked. It's gone through iterations because you can see that in the previous one, there's only one image link there. But when I started it, I have two because I have one as a sketch and one for the colors influencing it from a pebble. But here there's only one, so it's probably just the sketch. But we shouldn't assume that, but I think it is. Because as it says here, H9E, well, that's creature sketch 2. That's that image. This is just a short link for that. So I did a variation of that thing, right? It's a remix. I took out that link, and this is what this is the prompt, right? And this is what we get. So then it gets better, right? And it's based on something, which is back here, either 1 or 2, because that's what I did variations of. And then if you can guess which one it is, but it doesn't tell you. And we want that link back here. I'm not sure why it's not here anymore, but it used to be. All right, and you can see how they're very different, but we didn't say that we did say that he is walking, but on many short legs, right? But I mean, notice that we said he's walking, but here he's just sitting down taking a break, right? It's sitting in most of them and actually walking along on this one, making a pilgrim's progress here. It's number 2. So it's like, you want to see that one by DALL-E? Maybe. What if we add DALL-E in? It's not that, right? Surrealism. What if we add in DALL-E? And what if we just say, just draw it, by DALL-E or paint it by DALL-E only? Try that too. And then, yeah, I guess we may then just jump to the newest stuff and see the results of the new experiments that I just did with you live here. But then, of course, we'd be skipping a bunch of other stuff. Yeah, I liked these and wanted to do something with them, so I did variations. And this is pretty interesting how it has all those things floating in space there. And we don't have DALL-E's influence in there, but we could. Okay, so I'll just add his influence. But then what about Escher? Okay, what if we say, let's just have this one only done by DALL-E and then also done by DALL-E and MC Escher together. Okay. So that's what I'll do. Okay. Yeah, I like that one, obviously. Kind of a toxic waste dump thing here, maybe. Nausicaa. Yeah, so you can bring in a style from something else if you want. Yeah, eventually I found out, and this movie was made around the time that I was born, or maybe when I was like 1, but I found out where Ethereum came from, and that it was like this, like castles in the sky or something. It's pretty cool. Psychedelic. And then if you want to go, yeah, you can add in like a theme like Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas or something here too, for these. Like say that it reminds us of that, or just simply add it in. I had it right the first time actually, but not that. Okay, so here we're doing this one and this one. So what if I say, like, let's do the first one in the style of that. Let's say in the style of Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas and Salvador Dali and Tim Burton, and Lisa Frank, just to lighten it up a bit. Let's try that. Okay, that's another experiment. We may have done too many. Well, you can never do too many, but I did want to show you this just for fun, to see some of the stuff we're getting here. There's that spear, right? What about that creature that's sitting on a mushroom in Alice in Wonderland, right? You could try to change this into that, or like have some influence from it if you want. I'm not going to bother right now. Okay. I'm just going to just show you some things that were generated already, ready to show a lot of variety quickly too, because I already generated them earlier, right? So you can see them. I'm going to do that to show you some stuff that I made based on, what you see here, these sketches, these 3 little characters that I sketched, and also with the pebbles, but not a whole lot of other influence, just that, and also this flower. Okay. That's pretty interesting. So yeah, it's supposed to be a snail man, right? And you can see he's got those things on his head that he is part snail and part man, right? You can get a whole lot of different variations of that. Yeah, I thought that this was interesting. You can totally see the Mobius in this one, or at least some. Yeah, see, there's lots of good stuff here. I didn't bother doing anything with this, but it's certainly interesting. Oh yeah. So I did do something from these. And like here, it has to get fixed, right? This arm, the left arm is messed up on the skeleton. But by doing a variation of it, you can see if it will fix it. And this is good. This could become an NFT collection here. For a profile pictures thing, kind of mutant thing, right? So yeah, you can get a lot of more creative inspiration also just starting from a very small starting point too. So I also wanted to show you that. Like this one, right? You want some other ones like that, subtle variations of it there. And also let's pan down for now. Okay. Yeah, this is a remix, right? It's a variation of something, of some snail man walking along, I believe. See, strong variations of something. I'm not going to click that because then we got to jump down again. There's no little simple link to jump, which should be added back to it. All right, so we have, I guess, maybe the starting of the third creature here, or I may have started it earlier. I think this might be the starting of it though. And then, as you can see, you can then turn it into what you want, like something different and something better or whatever, more like what we're looking for. Here I put the same prompt in multiple times. These may not be the first because I think I just came back later and re-rolled it. So you're going to see some different ones here. But then we can pick one that we like and then change it. And say we want something there in the mouth, right? Like a flamingo. So the variation of the first one here. But then I'll take away these input images. So those are no longer influencing it. And of course, we could change the image weight to weight them less or weight them more. Maybe not less, but yeah, you could weight them more than the average, than the default. But here what we're going to have is this reptile, right? So a kind of reptile with large mouth, large spiky teeth, and inside the mouth there is a small pink flamingo flapping madly in an attempt to escape. Okay, I'll try it like that. We're not sure if it will work. Yeah, so creature sketch 3, different prompt. That's this one here. Yeah, and we can even make a note, right? I can make a note that I was doing something here. I'm remixing that one and I changed the prompt to this. But if we write it a different way, we could say stunning, award-winning, world-class, finely detailed illustration in the style of Moebius, Darrell K. Sweet, and Lisa Frank, depicting a scene in which our two creatures, the first and much larger is a kind of reptile with a large mouth, large sharp teeth, two medium-sized arms, spots, spiky hair all along its back, coming out of a lotus flower. And the second creature is a small, and the second creature, yeah, inside the mouth, we may say that, located inside the mouth of the first creature is a small pink flamingo flapping madly in an attempt to escape the maws of doom. If maws is the word I want. Okay, let's try that. And then, of course, inputting the same thing multiple times will result in different results because of the seed being different, like randomness. So we could get a lot of different results. So if we try it a few times, we'll just see what we get. And each time we do it, we'll get 4 possibilities. So yeah, here I put the same prompt in multiple times, like I re-rolled it, or I just went imagine and pasted it in and hit enter and just did that a few times. So that's how you can see that each of these are different, and then we can choose them and make something from them. And so I did something with that earlier from this first one up here, of course upscaling it so we can see it. And then also I did variations of it and changed the prompt and probably removed the images. So that's what we have here. As I showed earlier, this is where we may have started. I took out both images and this is what we get. So it's still based on that prompt and it's still based on that starting image, but now it's getting to be higher quality, right? A better illustration because it's not being influenced by the little like quick sketch in the sand anymore. So that's what we got, and you can still see flowers and stuff. And then on the other one, this is where I took out the sketch. Like here I took out the sketch and the flowers, but here I left the flowers in. That's the only difference. So that's an experiment just to show you what happens. So it's still basing it on the flower, but it's just part of a flower. It still wants to be a reptile with teeth, and the description is there. Okay, and we could do that differently too. See, because this was all, it was from this one, right? One there. So I'd done variation from that and did it and tried it a couple of ways, right? So if we were to do that again in a different way, instead of saying that it's a reptile with this description, right, we could just say a strange creature if we want, or even a strange creature no one has ever seen before. In an alien landscape. Yeah, a magical alien landscape with 13 moons in the night sky. Okay, so this is a different one. And yeah, we're not going to have these influences, right? So one, I'm going to take the sketch out and leave the flower. And then the second one, I'll take both out so the flower won't be influencing it anymore. So I copy that so that I don't have to type it again. And we're putting the same thing in, so we're only changing one thing when we do this split test, and all I'm doing is taking off that flower image, see? So yeah, we can try that. All right, now there may be more than this. I think there is, well, there definitely is now. There might not have been before, but now that we initiated a lot more experiments, you can see some of the results of things that we tried live in this video. That's these here. So these are probably subtle variations of something, right? Because they're quite similar to each other. It just says remix, but yeah, I did a variation of something and it could have changed the prompt or not. In this case, I did, because you can see the link is gone. So I no longer have the influence of the image, the sketch in it. I'm assuming the sketch, right? So that's why the quality goes up. So the sketch is a way to start it. And then once you get something that you like, you can remove the sketch. So I've showed you that process a little bit here, part of one of my creative processes. All right. And the cool thing is that you can invent the creative processes and try different things and evolve them over time. This is pretty cool. I like these quite a lot. And then we can bring in other styles. Yeah. Okay. Jeff Koons, if I'm spelling his name right? I think that's who I'm thinking of. Of course, we can Google it. I can pause and Google. I'm not going to bother though. Here. So here, what I did is added Jeff Koons, but then here I'm saying just make it by Jeff Koons only. Right. So we're trying something there with that one. All right. So now you're just seeing some of the stuff that we just created live by doing variations of things. Yeah, and this is reminding me a little bit of the fanged Rakabor that I thought about recently, like this grasshopper that I took a picture of the other day. So we'll actually do that sometime, but not right now. Yeah, this is one that we did variations of, like that. Yeah, kind of like a baby dragon. Pretty sweet. Whoa. Okay. This is when we look down. So we pan down and see what's in front of them or underwater. And so it's showing what's in front basically here. Or that might be underwater, but I think it's just what's in front of it basically. Yeah, and we're getting to the edge of the pond here. And this is a different one. Okay, anyway, let's just, if we can, let's just pan down more. So I'm going to look at this one here, and then I'll pan down even more. We can't pan down here, see, so we'll have to upscale that first and then do that. If you want to pan down again because you don't like any of these, but you wanted more, just re-roll it, right? And pan down again from where we started. It says left. Left? I thought it's down though. I think it is down, it's just a bug. See, it says down, right? So it should pan down again. If it pans left, then we'll have to go back to here. You click on this to get to the parent, which is where I panned down from. You can go back there and pan down again. Okay, so here we did this left, right? We tried panning left from that same one, I think. And you can see those. See here, there is a kind of snail thing there, but there isn't this green creature. See, different variations, different worlds. Okay. Yeah, and it'll be cool, I think, to maybe make like optical illusions that also look like something. That will be, it'll be cool if it could do it. I haven't tried yet, it's just an idea, so it'll be fun. This is crazy up here, this one, right? And this cat. And then if we want just the cat, we can cut it out, right? This is the third one here. This is the fourth one. So yeah, it's interesting it doesn't say variation. So I can't do variations of them from here. I can just upscale them. Why not? I'm not sure. If I hadn't panned, then I would be able to, but in this case, this is all we have. Because a normal one, yeah, you got upscale or variation, right? But these are new, this like new feature here. Okay. There are other ones panning up multiple times, I think. I tried. It's pretty crazy right there, right? Okay. Okay, so I'm going to end this video. Yeah, I'll just end the video. Thanks for watching. Oh yeah, in the sand. See if we can get through a few more of them. The Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas thing here. Yeah, I said in the style of Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, and Salvador Dali and Tim Burton and Lisa Frank. So this is what we get there. What's that? Oh, pan down. Yeah, to see maybe the rest of the body. What is below this? Those are variations from that one. Subtle variations from that one that we had. But then it's like, well, what about what's below it? What's below them? So the top part should be the same in every one of them, right? Because we just said pan down. So that's why they're all the same at the top. And then the lower part is different in each one. They're different variations, like possibilities. But if you don't like them, you can just get more of them. And there, yeah, ignore that pan left because it's actually down, right? And we'll see if it's really working and doing the same one. It probably is doing the right one. Oh yeah, so we said we wanted this thing to be like a flamingo in the mouth, but I then tried later saying like describing it differently. So we'll see if we may see if that worked if there's time. So in this one I had the scene with the two creatures, and then I added in like another creature inside the mouth of the first. Didn't work yet. I'll have to try more. We'll try more things or try more times. Not sure what I did if I input the prompt the same one multiple times, if that's what we're looking at here. I think that might be what I did. They're all variations from a certain one, but then with the same prompt. You can then pick whichever one you like and then evolve that one. Okay, and this is where you have the purple flower only, right? We've removed the images, actually just the sketch of the thing, which I think is the third one, like the reptile, right? But now we're describing it not as a reptile, but a strange creature no one's seen before, and there's 13 moons in the sky. But we still have the flower. So I tried it with the flower and without it, right? So that's why it's all influenced by that pattern and those colors with purple and white and some yellow. So I think we did it also without that. So there you can see that's what we get there. They're both variations from the same thing, but here we don't have that flower influencing it anymore either. And of course, not the sketch either. Here I didn't have the sketch anymore. The sketch and the flower were influencing it before, which is back here. This is it's a starting place with this prompt describing the thing, right? A kind of reptile with these big teeth. So it's kind of an alligator or crocodile thing in a pond. That's this first one. So that's what we're doing this from. Okay, so just to get back here again quickly, I guess. So yeah, that's with the flower in, and then without the flower, you got that. Once both were removed, instead of just removing the sketch but leaving the flower, which is a weird thing to do, right? You'd have to also remove the flower too at some point, as long as you get it to look the way you want. But like this animal here could look like something else, right? And we could change it. We could also describe it differently and do a variation of that and do that, and also take out the flower too, right? So if you just say like that it's a bald eagle, for example, like it says a strange creature, and you can leave it like this. That's fine. That's one variation. That's one way, right? But if I do the same thing, right, take out that image of the flower and then just say depict like a bald eagle, but also in this same landscape. Okay, I'll try that. And yeah, that's what we were saying. When I took out both images, this is what we get. Remember, it was based on a reptile. It still has the description of the reptile, and there's some moons up there in the night sky. And these are they're kind of floating things, maybe like squid or those things that can sting you in the water, but they fly in the sky though. Okay, decent, right? Pretty freaking decent. Um, yeah, so this is where we said, let's have this done by Jeff Koons. Okay, and if you say instead of like a finely detailed illustration, you could say that it's something else, like a 3D printed thing or something. You could just say it's something different. See, finely detailed illustration, 3D printed plastic model. But of course, it's going to be an image of a model. Anyway, yeah, so a strange creature. This is where we had all those artists and we added Jeff Koons instead of just replacing the list, saying in the style of Jeff Koons. Now it had all those ones we already had before, I think, plus Jeff Koons. So that was the difference. Okay. Pretty freaking interesting. So this one here, this third one, only by Jeff Koons. And also this third one only by DALL-E. And I guess I would say also that one by Lisa Frank and Salvador Dali and Jeff Koons. So there's another combination, which makes another style. Okay, and then what if Lisa Frank and Tim Burton collaborate on this one, but we want it to be similar, like subtle variations rather than strong. We don't want it to vary so much, so it's subtle. So right, so with Tim Burton, there. Okay, so I've showed you in this video a whole bunch of new art coming from some sketches on the beach that I was just inspired to make when I looked at some pebbles that had some color on them. So yeah, you can see some like an example of the infinite creation or the infinite potential unfolding of reality. Which and AI lets you see it faster, right? It speeds up the process, and you can feed into it anything from your imagination. You don't have to follow like what comes out from it. Instead, you can steer it in whatever direction you want. Look at these creatures, right? They're all different, and there's almost like no creature here. There's this flower, right? This is really cool. I like it quite a bit. And this is because I said it's a strange creature no one's seen before. So this is very general and vague, so it can be anything. And so we can create like these aliens and make a whole collection, right, of different creatures. Or base them on you could have it based on a named creature and have it try to interpret what that will look like, or even describe the creature so that it's less variable. Like this is a kind of chameleon kind of thing. So this thing here, chameleon, it's going to be like a chameleon bored apes. Yeah, so an ape. Right, so like a creature that is a combination of chameleon and ape, right, by Mobius, Daryl K. Sweet, and Lisa Frank. Okay, so if we try the same thing that I just did there, and it's a variation from that image, right? It's not just starting from scratch with the description, because you could do that too. Just imagine and put that same prompt in, which we could do also. Let's just then change the style here. So Dan Mumford. It'll be Dan Mumford and Lisa Frank this time here. But maybe I'll show you those another day, right? Because we might just end it. This is when we were looking at this. I just upscaled it, right? It's one of the ones that we looked at earlier that was impressive. And then, you could think of some Spanish or Mexican artist and then say, do it by that artist, right? You can Google if you don't, I don't have them off the top of my head, right? Or I can do a variation of it and then change the style into a Mexican style. Mural, like a Mexican mural style. We already said that it's an illustration, so I'm going to just add that there. It's a world-class Mexican mural style, finely detailed illustration by Jeff Koons. Or that's what it will be. Yeah, it's got a really weird leg, an extra leg here. But it can change. And we can also say we don't want extra limbs. But it probably doesn't know what we mean, though. Because also, how many limbs is something supposed to have, right? That depends. So here's that eagle in a magical alien landscape. See, the thing kind of looked like an eagle, and then I said, let's make an eagle. There you go. Oh yeah, well, sweet. Oh yeah, right. This is this 3D printed plastic model. So you can see this little figurine thing. It's designed for a little toy or a collectible, right? The possibilities and the opportunities are endless, right? This is just the beginning. This is just one day, just like probably a couple hours or a few hours after taking those photos of the sketches on the beach, right? And we can go in whatever direction you want to go. So, and it doesn't have to be grotesque, right? Because it depends on the style you ask for and what you describe. It can be really anything. Like say you want to make that one cuter, for example. Okay, so this strange creature will also be cute, right? And the style, what if we say that it's by Pixar and DreamWorks, and you take out Salvador Dali? See, that's going to be completely different. Just saying that it's a cute, strange creature, right? We're not really describing it, but we could also describe what we want it to be. That's like that little dragon thing, baby dragon. We didn't even say that, right? See, just a strange creature, but we could say what we want. Oh yeah, and this cool one. So I think I did a variation of this one, and I said like, and let's make it a chameleon crossed with an ape. It's quite a good alien landscape here. And this is Midjourney 5.2, right? It's impressive. So we'll also look up into the sky and see what is up there. Okay, and that's it, right? Frogs or toads, kind of dragon things. Mexican style? Yeah, Mexican mural style, right? Sweet. What about Aztec? What about blending it with the pyramids? Okay, what if we do this one here, and we say that it's like Aztec? Okay. Okay, I'm gonna look one up. So just a moment. Yeah, here in Just for Fun Energy, you can see I put a few of these ones here, variations of something. So set number 17, number 18, and number 19. Okay, so yeah, let's go with number 18. So I'm gonna just track. Oh, yeah, I'm just gonna track that one down, and we will then combine them in some way. Okay, so here in the file name, there's actually the job ID there, so that's what I need. So then we'll just say show that job ID and get that one up, and then, well, yeah, I mean, we could have uploaded that image too. The thing is that that image has a watermark or signature thing here, and the one that I had, I've edited, and I may have cut the edge off too, that pixel on the edge or whatever. So we could upload the thing again, and it'll be better if we do, actually, right? Yeah, wow, look at those ones. And the Day of the Dead, Cinco de Mayo, is it? I think so. I think it might have been in a James Bond movie called Spectre. I think they had the Day of the Dead at the beginning there. So was it this? Yeah, that's what it was. See, because of this thing in the background, that made me think of like, well, like a temple or pyramid or something. It's probably actually like a fountain. But anyway, that's the one that we were going to do something with. So you could use blend, just blend this image with that image, or we can do a variation of this and add in the other image while keeping the same description. Or we can use the other description or combine them a bit. So there's a lot of different ways. Okay, I don't have the other one ready yet though. So what I'll do is I'm going to get this open in, I'm going to do that and open it in the browser. So, because then once it loads in here, we can go to two different things, right? Because then I can go here. This is the one I've uploaded. We're going to combine that thing. Okay, so yeah, Just for Fun Energy number 18, it's being uploaded. That image is edited, and if we put that image in with it, but there's also the description, right? There's also the description because I said show that job ID, so you can see here my prompt that I used to make this in the first place, and it was Midjourney 5 at the time. Okay, so we'll just copy that. I'm not sure about having this part in or not. I guess we might as well leave it, but we probably don't need it. And we also don't need the version 5, definitely. I'm keeping it all the same. I'm using the version 5.2. So if we put that description in with this image and the other one, we can combine both descriptions together, or we can, obviously, yeah, there's different ways we can do it. Okay, so here we have this one, right? We're going to do a variation of number 4. There's no image, but we're doing a variation of that image, number 4 there. Okay, so I'm going to do that, and then I add into it that 18. So I add that image in. I just put space there. Okay, so we do that, and it's still going to just be a strange creature, but we're influencing it by that other image as well. That's one way. I can put the image in, do the same thing, but instead I can have this. Well, this is the description of the other one. If we just have that, replacing our new thing with it, it's going to be completely different, right? Because it's a variation from this reptile, but combining it with the other one. So here we got stunning award-winning world-class Mexican mural style, finely detailed illustration, like Jeff Koons, depicting a strange creature, or we could say, yeah, let's combine them together. So depicting this thing here, it says it's a portrait, right? So it's going to be this one. So a strange creature. Yeah, I'll just do that. I'll just have them combined together. Okay, so that's another way. Okay, but we haven't added the image, so I actually made a mistake there. So it's a good thing I copied it, right? Because then we can quickly put that back in there with it without wasting time recreating it or going to the latest post, the output, and getting that and putting it together again. So it's good that I copied it because then it was quicker. So yeah, we can try it like that. We can just keep it with a strange creature, or just say it's a strange and beautiful creature. So we had here a strange creature, right? Okay. All right, and then I guess we'll probably just leave it there for this video. Yeah, and it's an hour too. We're an hour and 2 minutes in. So here's some of the outputs just to end it with some, so that you can see something from what we just created. See what happened. You'll see that here because I tried a few different approaches. So we can see what happens there. Yeah, so I uploaded this image. We got the link. All right. So yeah, that's the one that we're mixing together. We didn't use blend though, right? That's another way. So I think doing that, we have to upload the images again. So we have to save them, right? So I'll save that image in there, and then I will, we're gonna blend them then. Yeah, see, blend the images, upload them. You can't just put a URL, I think, because I tried this before. So we'll just put these in. Oh, I'm in the wrong place. Okay, and then the other one is the number 18. There. See, so that's another way you can do it because it doesn't ask for a prompt when you do that. It just blends the images with no way to put in a prompt, but you can put the images both in. So another way, just like how we're doing, well, if we do imagine, right, rather than a variation from the thing, which is this one up here, this, instead of that, we could actually do, you know, like a new imagine with both, but we need a link to the other image, which we can get. So, you know, do you want to put the reptile first or her, right? Either way. So number 18, yeah, that one, that's what we need there. Okay, so I'm just going to put her first and then the reptile. Okay, so try that. So a strange and beautiful creature. Okay, all right, so we actually have quite a bit we can look at from this. It says that that one's still going for some reason there. Okay, so yeah, there's no reptile here. This is where I've got the explanation, the description of her, right? And it's all the same as that. It was copied from that, and the image is the one that I did, number 18 edited, but it's a variation from that thing. Okay, So that's what we got there. And that's because we haven't said make a strange creature, right? And so it's like that thing changed into her, as you can see here. And here we have a Mexican mural style, finely detailed illustration in the style of Jeff Koons depicting a strange creature, and then the rest of it is the description from before, the other one. So I've put both descriptions together. It was what we had already, plus the other one, except I changed it instead of saying a portrait, because the style, like the format of the whole thing is this. I want it to be this like Mexican mural styled illustration by Jeff Koons, right? So that's why I took out the portrait thing. So here we've combined both text prompts together. We're doing a variation of the reptile, but I didn't add in the image prompt because I forgot it. So that's what we got here. So it's using, based on that text prompt, that's why it's partly the reptile thing and partly her. Okay, but then remember I had realized that I'd forgotten to put the image in. So we put the image in, and that's what you get. And so it's influenced by the image as well, not just by the text prompt. So there you go. Okay, so it's based on both images because it's a variation from the reptile image, and we added in an image prompt, and we could weight that image differently, right? Here it's probably just weighted the default like a quarter, but we could actually weight it differently, and so then that would also give us different results. But yeah, that's cool. Okay, and then here we had a strange and beautiful creature rather than that long description that I had written before and compiled, like put together and evolved. So here it's just a strange and beautiful creature, right? So it's a combination of both, and this image is probably just that number 18 one uploaded, right? So yeah, you can see how she's combined. It's her and the reptile creature together in different ways, right? Monster Girl over here. Okay, and these other ones, I don't know. It's the same thing, right? It's maybe the same thing again here, but every time you do it, you get more different ones. It all depends what you're trying to do. What result do you want? So, and then this was the blend thing. We did a blend of two images that we uploaded. See, the links are different because we had to upload them. It gives you new ones, even though they're the same images that we already had, but we had to upload them. So there you go. And that's what it did. The blend, the automatic blend with no description, that's what it resulted in. And notice that every time it's different. So here's 4 possibilities. But if you want more, just keep re-rolling. And once you find one that you want, that you like, you can then build from there, right? Make variations of it. Make a whole collection. There's gonna be like Space Babes of the Cosmos in the future. So we might potentially get something from this too. But yeah, you can do that. You could combine different characters or like a creature and a person and see what happens too. So I showed you a little experiment on the fly that we just made right there. Or it's the beginning of one, right? So there you go. So you can see that this is much different from what I started with. Yeah, it's a lot different from what I started with. Or like this, right? The reptile one. So this thing. Or yeah, like that. And this, right? So that's quite interesting. And I hope that you found this enlightening and inspiring and that you can create your own art too. And that's one thing that I'm doing. Actually, it's the main thing I do is help people make world-class art in any style that they choose, even if they're a beginner, in 8 to 12 weeks. AIArtGodMode.com. I'll see you soon. More to come.